Alright, let's get this underway now. Now, what I have on my screen is quite basically my run through for building web apps. So, how I built focus flow and all that. Now, I'll be going step by step. So, watch, learn, grab what you want to grab. If you want to build a web app or you want to design something, this is just the basic structure. So, let me try landscape mode now because this is going to be interesting. This is going to take a lot of space, but it's going to be very interesting. Now, on to it. Now, first, I have my tasks. My function steps. This is where I decide, okay, what does the app do? How does it work? Will there be front end or back end needs? Will there be app integrations? For example, now, using Focus Flow, my app. Focus Flow is basically a meditation tracker, habit tracker, goal tracker combined, then gives insights. So, how does it work? There will be this for all this you design on paper, right? You write it down on paper, you get the general idea. Because if you hop onto prompting, you're not really going to get a clear, defined idea of what you want. So anything that they give you, you take. So what does your app do? Right? It can connect two pilots together so that they don't crash into each other mid-air or something. It could help gardeners around your city get in touch with people that want their gardens trimmed. Simple as that. Can be anything. Alright, just you define what your web app is going to do, and then you define how does it work. What steps are they going to? Is there going to be a payment page? Are they going to have to log in, or will the app just be open like that? Will there be any authentication? All that. Define all of this, right? And then you decide, is there going to be front end and back end? Now, this basically isn't for you to decide. It's the nature of your app. Now, Focus Flow for me didn't need a back end. It's just open like that. So no database, no SQL. There isn't any payment integration as of now. Then we have its app integration, right? So things like, for example, now, if I were to set up payment on my web app Focus Flow, I would need quite possibly a Paystack integration, Stripe integration, maybe Coinbase or something like that. Then if you're having something that it needs a map, for example, now you're connecting singles that are ready to mingle in a city, you might need app integrations, you might need Google Map integrations, right? So for me personally, I favor Google Maps and such. I favor Google Apps because the integrations are actually straightforward. So once you got this task function step, right? It's quite possibly, I'm going to outline it with red now. It's quite possibly one of the most needed steps. If you can get this step down, then all the other steps flow relatively well like butter, like hot knife through butter. The next step will be the tool recruitment. The tool recruitment will then be, okay, you decide what tools you're going to use. So for me, for building Focus Flow, I use ChatGPT for prompting because nothing's going to prompt as well as AI. Then I had Lovable, right? I'm not going to draw on the screen. I'm using Paint. All right, I'm using Paint. It's already hard as it is. All right. So we had Lovable, and we had ChatGPT. ChatGPT was for the prompting. It's my prompting help. Lovable was my no-code platform. And I didn't have any app integration, but you decide which app integrations you're going to use. Are you going to have a payment app, map, all that? Getting APIs. A lot of apps allow you to get APIs now. If you've been on it for the past few months or so, you should know where to get APIs. All right, then Basically, your tool recruitment, you're going to pick the tools that are good for you. I prefer Lovable. A lot of people tell me Bolt.new or something. Bolt.new. I don't like Bolt. I don't like Bolt at all. Some people tell me Cursor. Cursor is fun and all, but sometimes it gets a little technical. And for someone that doesn't have coding experience, I don't like that shit. Lovable is fun. Lovable is very fun. And there's something about Lovable that I will explain later. As of now, let's just move on to the next step, which is the building phase, right? Now, the building phase, this is where the fun begins. It's where you define your color scheme, your general prompt. So, what I do is that I get a general prompt from an LLM, right? General LLM, that is ChatGPT. The secret to this is that you're going to take the LLM, if it has voice recording, they are supposed to have voice recording, right? ChatGPT, you can record the voice, you can send it like a voice note or something like that, or you can have it transcribe your words. So instead of you typing for like 5 minutes, you can just reel it off in like a minute, two tops. And then you explain you as if you're speaking to your worker. And it transcribes and then gets the general idea as it comes from your mouth. So you're not trying to refine it. It's going to refine it for you. You see whether it's good. I'm making so much damn noise. You're going to see whether it's good. And then it's going to prepare the prompt for you. You can tweak the prompt a little, but a little bit of prompting here, a little bit of prompting there, right? Then I then place the prompt. I take the prompt as it is, right? After tweaking and everything, move it into the no-code platform to give me a general interface and give me the entire. Basically, the reason why I like this ChatGPT prompting style that I then send over to Lovable is that it actually helps me to build a bulk of the app at once. And then everything after that is just little tweaks. I don't have to start writing prompts for every step. No. Bulk prompt, right? Slap it into Lovable, generate a bulk of the app, and then I can then fine tune. Right? I can then fine tune. And ChatGPT is relatively smart, right? It's smart, depending on the model you're using. It's relatively smart, so you should be able to get very, very decent custom prompts. If you tell it, okay, I'm prompting for Lovable, this is the app, so and so. Then we've left the building phase, and now we are going to back end or not to back end. Now, this, as I said before, isn't technically up to you. It's based on how complex or how intricate your app is. How intricate your app is. So if your app has, quite possibly, you need people to log in, you need people to have their own system, you need a full database, you're going to have to do the back end. For back end, what I use or what I would recommend, if I'm using Lovable, you can use Supabase or you can use Cursor and link it to GitHub. The reason why I would say the Cursor to GitHub part is like really, it's not stressful. It's simple, few clicks of a button, but the entire get the Cursor app on your laptop, get a GitHub account. I haven't had a GitHub account before. It's because of these no-code platforms that I actually had to get a GitHub account. Get your GitHub account, connect everything three-way, or you could just do Supabase, do Lovable, and just connect it straight. So there are other apps, right? There are other apps. You can use Cursor, you can use Firebase, you can use Supabase. The ones that I would prefer is Cursor, Supabase. I haven't actually tried Firebase. That's an assignment for me. I'm going to try Firebase, see how it works. Now, your no-code backend services and the backend integrations. This is quite basically the chef at the back of the kitchen handling the cooking. Alright? So basically, an app without back end. An app that doesn't need a back end, I want you to imagine this. An app that doesn't need a back end is like a food truck, right? Can I draw a food truck? I'm going to try and draw a food truck. Food truck, or food stand, or food store, whatever is going to. Jesus Christ, this isn't it. It looks like a flag. Okay, so basically, an app without a back end, or that doesn't need a back end, it's quite possibly a food store where you stand in front of them and they make your food for you and give it to you there and then. But a an app with front end, working front end and working back end, is quite possibly like a restaurant, right? That's not a restaurant. That's not a restaurant. But basically, it's like a restaurant that you have your waiters and you have your cooks at the back. And then the waiters are the ones that interact with you, go to the back end, get what you need, and come out. Simple as that. Then, Jesus Christ, and let's remove these abominations from my screen. Okay, the abominations have been removed. Then we have the integration. So the integrations now are your payment integration, your database, your app APIs. Now I've talked about database a bit in your back end. So for me, if I'm setting up an app and I will have to do, let's say, payment integrations, I put that first because a lot of people want to integrate payment into their app. So for Lovable, once you have defined to Lovable that your app is going to be paid, it's going to, by default, get you Stripe, and you're supposed to input an API key, a secret key. Then what I do is that I tell you, okay, this is the payment methods I want. So Paystack, maybe card, maybe all that, and then it imputes, right? And then we are supposed to create a different interface for the entire payment and such. And this is where that secret step that I'm going to tell you about for Lovable is going to come in. Then app APIs, if you're going to be using map, if you're going to be using listings, if you're going to be using people's website, all that. If you're going to be using APIs, right, other people's app, function of other people's apps now, you're going to have to integrate their APIs. Simplest case is Google Maps, integrating Google Maps API to an app that will need location verification or stuff like that. Like quite possibly an e-commerce app, right? E-commerce app, fun stuff for tracking deliveries and all that. And then fine tuning. Now we've gotten to the creme de la creme. Creme de la creme. Work's done. Don't mind this. I should put something that indicates creme de la creme. Now the creme de la creme, I'm having fun with colors, is fine tuning. The thing about Lovable is that you can turn on the chat function. This way you then chat with Lovable like you're chatting with ChatGPT. You're talking with ChatGPT, and you can then discuss ideas without it burning through your credits. So you can discuss ideas, you can bounce ideas off each other. Okay, I want this. It can tell you, no, I can't implement this. You will need a back end for this. You can see how you maneuver. And then when everything is done and the both of you have discussed a plan, right, a well-versed plan, it will then show you the implement the plan button. You can click that and it starts right away. The reason I like this is because if you just go back to ChatGPT and tell ChatGPT to start tweaking the prompt for you, it's going to become harder to maintain consistency. Very hard to maintain consistency. So what you want to do, after ChatGPT has given you that general prompt for the first time, right? For the first time, and you have built the bulk of the app, you are going to use the chat function in Lovable or whatever no-code app you are using to push through. I haven't tried Opal. Opal isn't available in Nigeria yet. Opal, OPAL by Google. I'm going to try that. I'm going to see how fun it is. Maybe I'll dump Lovable. But for now, the tool I use mainly is Lovable and ChatGPT and all that. So that's it for now. If this style of videos are very good, tell me. This is like, I don't know how many minutes is this. I can't see it. So fun stuff. Huh? I'll be offering free consultation to business owners concerning AI and anybody that has AI in their project. I'll be offering free consultation to help you boost your effectiveness with AI. But as of now, that will be all. I'm out. I'm out. Have a good day.